always experimenting with different kinds of tools that enable the students to share, to develop their ideas. So the digital technologies really help them to get prepared to experiment with their own thoughts.
My sense is that the students are finding that they're spending their time more effectively. They are avoiding the frustration of struggling and not being able to get help or not knowing whether what they've done is correct.
The biggest benefits that technology brings to potentially to all of the classrooms here at MIT are greater engagement and greater ability to kind of teach at scale.
This is Annotation Studio, and it allows students to annotate texts. This is a commentary by a German writer, film critic, and the students first watched the film and now they're adding their own comments to a film review. They can build on each other, they can get into a discussion with each other online. And I think all of that is important, that it also happens outside of the classroom, before the classroom, and after the classroom.
So Eclipse is a popular Java IDE programming environment for writing Java in particular. And it's the kind of tool that students might use when they go into industry. And so it's the kind of thing that we'd like them to get real experience with in this class. But we also want them to be doing these exercises, and we think the exercises are much more successful when you're working with a partner. So I might be working with Rob, and what this plugin that we've built allows us to do is to sit down, and you can think of it like Google Docs for Eclipse. We're going to start working together, we're going to be able to see what one another is doing and actually collaborate on this exercise. And I think it makes the class just a lot more fun to be able to work on a programming problem and not feel like as soon as you hit your first barrier, you're just stuck. I don't know how to continue on this exercise. Well, maybe the person next to me has an idea and we can keep going, we can get a lot more out of the experience.
So the way we're using digital technology in my class is that we videotaped the lecture and then we made up online problem sets as well. We ran it as a flipped class. So the students watched the lectures on videotape, but I did not do the lectures in class. And instead I did recitations. So I would do another example, I would ask them if they had questions about the problem set, we talked about any issues they had with the problem set.
So there's lots of things we can do when students can do real design work online. We're able to sort of embed interactive figures, in this case a circuit diagram, where the student can run a simulation of the circuit. In this case it's a voltage transfer curve, and then they can actually take real oscilloscope measurements. So we're actually able to ask them fairly detailed questions about the behavior of the circuits they're designing, and they can go off and make the measurements just like they would in the lab.
The Teal Project, Technology-Enabled Active Learning, began in 2001, and it was designed to change physics education for the first year at MIT. And what's new right now is that when we designed the original Teal, we had a very nice website, but we didn't have the type of resources online that we have now. And so what we're trying to do is just triple the content that we're developing and figure out how to blend that in the classroom.
The program that we use is called Wirecast. This is set up by Jim Kane. So when I look over at the lightboard, I see everything flipped, and then this is flipped the right way, so I can actually see what the student will see. I can see the edges of the screen.
One aspect of the lightboard that Michelle and I like a lot is that there's all the nonverbal communication that comes through. Instead of a Khan Academy video, if my back is turned to the people, I'm looking at the screen. All my gestures, all the nonverbal communication is transmitted in this medium.
So it really gave us a way of showing the students something that they wouldn't be able to normally see.
The classroom discussion gets much richer through the use of digital technologies outside of the classroom.
It was a lot of work, but I'm super glad that I did it because I think the results speak for themselves.